Chronic racism has effects. So studies have shown that chronic racism can have an effect on many health issues.
Experience Karen Hunter in a completely different way. Karen Hunter is awesome. The podcast.
If you like me on SiriusXM Urban View Channel 126, you're gonna love me. And Karen Hunter is awesome. Hey, this is Karen Hunter, host of the Karen Hunter Show on SiriusXM's Urban View. Karen Hunter is awesome is an actual podcast to bring heat and energy and knowledge and power. A 1-2 punch that I don't think you get anyplace else. Tell the truth. Check out the podcast wherever you get your podcast. You will not be disappointed. So what else are you working on? What's next on your...
Well, I just got through with a big project. I was saying that I had a eczema outbreak on my hand and it's currently have one on my leg. I'm pretty sure it's stress induced. I just got done with this big article. It's Consumer Reports about synthetic braiding hair. I don't know if you've heard about this.
I saw that it's toxic especially when heated, and I'm not the client at all. I don't use it, so I didn't. Not that I didn't care, but I was like, all right.
It's pretty big news. So we did this study that pretty much that no one's done before. So this is like a first time thing, and we looked at 10 products of all synthetic braiding hair, sent them to the lab, and got the results back. And our scientists were like, listen, there are some known carcinogens in this, known carcinogens. There's one called benzene, and it is known to cause leukemia, a form of leukemia.
Oh.
In three of them.
Wait, this was your report? Because I saw the story at passing glance, and again, it's like limited amount of, if I'm not in it. This was you guys did this, so thank you.
Yes.
Because it's right. When I saw that, I thought about the perms that we have been, the chemicals that we have been putting in our hair, and everybody's now natural. But part of the natural preserving your hair are the braids, and now you're literally braiding carcinogen laden hair into
it's I mean, and it's, we think of them as protective styles, right? Like, come on. And so then there are all these, there's categories of carcinogens. There's the known, where it's like it's unanimous, it is a carcinogen. And then there's probable, where scientists think that there's a good chance that they are, but it's not known yet. And then there's another category where it's like likely, I think, or possible is what it is. Then there are all these VOCs, or volatile organic compounds, that can cause all kinds of irritants for your central nervous system, for your lungs, your respiratory system. It's wild. And then the lead, there was lead in 90% in all of one.
90?
Yes, 90%. And 9 out of the 10 samples that we tested. Wow. It's wild. And then the worst part is, as I was editing this article, I hired an excellent freelancer named Leanne Jackson. She's a person, her byline is on the article. Please check it out. It's at cr.org/braiding hair. Easy to remember. The worst part about it, though, is that the FDA is not regulating this product category. They are not regulating it. And so it's just, it boggles the mind. Like, how is this even possible?
And this is the hair from wigs, braids.
So I can't speak for wigs. All we did was the braiding hair, the synthetic braiding hair specifically. And that's only the tip of the iceberg, because we looked at just 10. We did a small study. We wanted to see what we could see, right? Is there? So we just did 10, 2 samples of each product. But when we were doing the research, when our market analyst was doing the research on the products that we should get, there were like 4,000 products in like the hair universe, right? So it's just the very tip of the iceberg, right?
We're going to have you back on, because you just now awakened this whole alarm that we need to, because the babies are getting, young people, they're braiding the baby's hair with this. Why? Oh, come on, y'all. We don't need all of that.
Exactly. And so babies, I'm glad you brought up the babies, Karen, because babies and small children are especially susceptible to the effects of lead. There's no safe level of lead, but babies are, and small children are especially susceptible because it can affect their IQ.
Also, you were listening to the clip that I was playing from the formerly enslaved people giving their remedies, and you were like, rabbit tobacco. And so I was like, I had to look it up. And so I'm going to give you the actual name of the rabbit tobacco. It is Pseudonaphalium obtusifolium. That's what it's called. And
Nailed it.
it's a biennial herb that the indigenous people use. The Alabama tribe used the compound of it to treat nervousness and sleepiness. The Cherokee used the compound for muscle cramps and local pains and twitching and applied an infusion of it over scratches and made the muscle cramps go away. It also helped with rheumatism. The Choctaw used it as a decoction, used a decoction of leaves. I guess they would make a tea, blossoms taken for lung pain and colds. The Creek added the leaves to medicines as perfume and to treat vomiting. I'm going down the list here, and then the Africans were like, what's that now? Okay, here we go. I'm just amazed by all of the things that we've lost as a result of this mess that we're in. But
No kidding. No kidding. It wouldn't surprise me though if that ended up in some serum or some bottled medicine in the next few years because people are looking for more natural cures, right?
yeah, and the plant is beautiful. I'm looking to find it and grow it. I can't pronounce it. Oh, I did pronounce it, so I feel
You
very good
did.
about myself. I need to know, like, so it's called rabbit tobacco,
Tobacco.
tobacco, tobacco. So I'm in love with the Consumer Reports team. Y'all are all amazing. So before we get into eczema,
Yeah.
how did you end up at Consumer Reports?
You know, Consumer Reports is this company has been around for almost 90 years, and I have the same experience that a lot of people had growing up, probably, is that the grandparents subscribed to it, and I saw the magazine around the house at different relatives' house, over the years, and then never really thought of it much more until a few years ago when I became a homeowner and I started just looking at what I needed to get for the house. And I didn't want to buy wrong. So I was looking for some help with that. And that's how it kind of got back on my radar. But then the company was looking to diversify basically, because historically it hasn't been that diverse. And they realized perhaps we need to change that. And it's one of the companies that changed that and stuck with it. Our DEI efforts aren't going anywhere. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's kind of the story of my like history of knowing Consumer Reports and then being here. I've been here for about 3.5 years now, and it's a great place to work.
Were you a journalist someplace else before? I'm
Yes, many
imagining.
years. Yes,
Yes,
yes.
imagining.
So I did a lot of lifestyle stuff before I came here, but before that, I was heavily into breaking news. So I worked at a news aggregator called MSN.com, and that was a very stressful job. I'm pretty sure I have eczema, and I'm pretty sure I got many eczema outbreaks because of stress. Stress is one of the
Yes,
triggers for
yes,
you.
yes.
Yeah, so I have a long career. Okay, I'm going to age myself, Karen, but I
Okay, well,
started my career in a newspaper. Okay, so that tells
okay.
you
All
something.
right. Well, I'm going to see your age and raise your age. I actually worked for 16 years at the New York Daily News
Okay.
when it was a newspaper. A
Yep.
newspaper. Got a Pulitzer from them when it was a newspaper. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah. So
Wow.
I'm familiar with newspapers. Started
Yeah.
my career at the New York Star Ledger. Actually
Okay.
starting in sports. So I'm very, very well versed in newspapers. So you're not
Hmm.
aging yourself, Miss Coles. You're not. The eczema thing.
Yeah.
I used to say I had eczema,
Yeah.
but then I realized that words are powerful, and I'm not claiming it. It's not my eczema. It is eczema. It's
Hmm.
there, but I also realized that it's autoimmune, that it's a symptom of something else going on in my body, whether it's my gut health, which also is the stress that affects all things, or a pre-existing other autoimmune because they work in clusters. They come in clusters, whether it's going to be alopecia or MS or whatever. So when eczema flares up, I'm also mindful something else is going on that I have to. It's kind of like my five alarm fire. Like I got to put it out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're on the, I mean, that's what all the research says, everything that you just said. So the thing with eczema is that it's tricky. There's no cure for it, and there's no single trigger for it. It really varies from person to person. So as you mentioned, it's a chronic inflammatory skin disease, right? And you can get it can be triggered in so many different ways. We mentioned stress already, but even things like the weather changing, right? Right now in this area, we got a cold snap. It's heavy winds, lots of rain, dryness in the air, perhaps that can be a trigger for you. Even allergens. So when the seasons change, sometimes that triggers so many things. Fragrances, if you change soaps, if you change laundry detergents, hormonal changes, it feels like, you throw a dart at it and it might cause an eczema outbreak. You just can't predict it, unfortunately. And it really can affect anybody. You might get it as a kid and not have it for decades. And then, you get
Here it
stressed out at
comes.
your job as you become an adult and you get adult problems and suddenly you got eczema outbreaks again and you're like, what the heck is going on? So it's a crazy, crazy condition, but it can be managed.
Yeah. When I
Yeah,
was a little kid, I used to get it on the back of my neck and the back of
yeah.
my legs and my knee area. And then as an adult, it attacked my hands, which I was like, is it because I'm writing? My hands will just, and
Mm.
it'll be like cracked and bloody. It is like horrific.
Were you
But I
treating
haven't
it?
I haven't had any problems with eczema in a long time.
Oh, good.
And the pandemic was great because I realized that driving in New York probably was a problem every day, being mad
Mhm.
in the highways and fighting with people. But I also got my gut health together, taking a probiotic,
Hmm.
kind of cleared it up, and it took a minute, but yeah, and keeping like jojoba oils and different kind of, oils
Hmm.
also, because the dryness is a problem, and you don't want it
Yep.
to spread. So where do you get yours, or where do you get your outbreaks? Is it in the same place all the time?
Um, it varies. So, most recently, um, actually, I have one right now on my leg, like on my calf,
Oh,
random, which that's never happened before. But typically, I'll get it just on my hand, like right here.
yep.
Sometimes I'll get it high on my cheekbone.
Really?
Yeah, it really varies. Every once in a while, a patch on my belly. But I never get like big outbreaks, and I don't have it severely, which I'm very grateful for because Black people tend to get it really severely. We tend to get it more persistently
Yes.
than other groups, especially white people. So there's various reasons for that too.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Racism being one of them.
Say
Studies
more.
show. Huh?
How does racism impact eczema?
Chronic racism has effects. So studies have shown that chronic racism can have an effect on many health issues. So it can be a trigger for a lot of stuff going on in your life, including eczema. Yeah.
Okay. We had
Yeah.
Brian Vines on a few
Hmm.
weeks ago. He's amazing, by the way. So
Yes.
I was like,
Yes.
let's see who else is amazing over there. Ginger Coles, amazing too. So what does Consumer Reports have to say about eczema, and why should we be listening to them as it relates to eczema?
Yeah, so I wanted to get the word out about eczema for Black people, especially because we tend to just kind of ignore things sometimes. We got to take better care of our health, and there are easy things that you can do to to just help your condition and help manage it. So I want to also just share some information that bust some myths. So basically, people think that it's contagious. So if your cousin has it and you touch your cousin's, patch, you're not going to get it. You can't also spread it on your own self. So if you touch a patch of it on your hand and then touch your chest, you're not going to spread it to your chest or anything like that. And the dermatologists we've spoken to say that they get that a lot from their patients. So I wanted to share that with you because I feel like that was really key because I even questioned that as a younger person when I didn't know exactly what was going on with my eczema. Um, but they also shared a lot of tips with us, these dermatologists, and you're not going to like some of them. Can I share some with you?
Yes, please.
Yes. So, a few things that we can do to help calm or prevent flare-ups. So first of all, I'm gonna start with the shower, and this is probably the one that is gonna be the most controversial because us Black people
I
love
think I saw
to
this. Go
we
ahead.
love our washcloths, we love our loofahs. Listen, if you have issues with eczema, atopic dermatitis, which is a type of eczema, don't scrub your skin. Don't use a washcloth. Don't hate me. I'm just a messenger. Like, don't use it. They say it can
Ma'am, what we
out.
supposed to do? How we supposed to get to the nooks and crannies?
Rub. They say rub the soap all over your body. And don't because the extra scrubbing, even from a washcloth, it causes more inflammation and that can trigger or irritate an existing eczema breakout.
All
And
right,
I've done
church
it
finger,
before and it's true,
Ginger.
huh?
Can I scrub every area but the area that is? Because
Listen, I'm trying to help you,
okay, all right. Thank you.
Gently with just the soap and the water is what the dermatologists say. And also try not to use super hot water. That can also be drying. Yes, I know. And it's so tempting, especially now is where I am. It's pretty cold. Like try to just do warm because the super hot can cause some inflammation on the surface of your skin too. So stick with warm and try your best not to scrub. I know that's a hard one, but and then
Okay.
of course, Black people we love to be moisturized, but don't skip because sometimes you might skip. Moisturize, moisturize, moisturize. If you don't do anything else, stay moisturized. Do not be ashy. That yes, hello. And
Yes,
this is
I
one of
showed her
the
my yeah.
yes,
Oh, Eucerin is every when I'm having a flare up. The
yes,
Eucerin, I
yes.
can't even. I don't know what's in it, but it helps so much.
It does. I use the very rich one, and the one that I have here, unfortunately, is not. It's like the one that's in the middle. I usually get the
Right.
one that's
The
rich.
thick one.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
that's the one I have
Yes.
upstairs. That works the best. Okay, this isn't from a dermatologist, but I think the ingredients you just mentioned, I think it's the urea. It helps your skin retain moisture. That's what I think.
Okay.
Um,
I do the ointment, the
yeah,
really the whenever I have a flare up, and
yeah,
it's like it does put out the
yeah.
fire.
Yeah, you can also do a couple other things. If dryness is a concern, you mentioned dryness earlier. You can do an excuse me, a humidifier. The problem with those, as you know, if you use them, you got to maintain them. They
Yeah. Make sure they're
require you,
clean.
yeah, you got
Yes.
to clean them because they can get really nasty really fast. So you got to be on top of that because you don't
And then
want to.
you're putting funkiness into your air.
Right, right. Which
Bacteria. Yeah.
exactly, which could be another trigger, which could, make it worse probably. The other issue is another product you can get is an air purifier. So if you have allergens as a trigger, say it's dust, the air purifier is going to help pull most of the dust out of the air and hopefully help prevent your flare-ups.
Yes.
And then I mentioned the fragrances, right? So if you can avoid using products with fragrance, even your laundry detergents, your lotions, um, anything with fragrance, because fragrance is one of those complicated ingredients where it may just say fragrance on the label, but that fragrance could entail like dozens or even hundreds of ingredients. You don't even know what they are, and they could be an allergen for you or something that is just not going to sit well with your body, you know?
I appreciate that. Those are all great tips. By the way, somebody in the Nubia chat said their son uses Aquaphor. That is
Yep.
Eucerin. That is a Eucerin product. That's the one I used too, the Aquaphor ointment from Eucerin.
Yep.
So
Works really well too. Absolutely.
Experience Karen Hunter in a completely different way. Karen Hunter is awesome. The podcast.
if you like me on SiriusXM Urban View Channel 126, you're gonna love me. And Karen Hunter is awesome. Hey, this is Karen Hunter, host of the Karen Hunter Show on SiriusXM's Urban View. Karen Hunter is awesome is an actual podcast to bring heat and energy and knowledge and power, a 1-2 punch that I don't think you get anyplace else. Tell the truth. So check out the podcast wherever you get your podcast. You will not be disappointed.